All right, let's try this again. I've done this about 5 different times with the recording, so we'll try it a sixth time. All right. So, starting again at the beginning here, we're going to create a lot of different visual graphics, and we don't want to mess with this, mess up our first floor plan. So we're going to duplicate this first floor plan so that we can create a color-coded plan. So right-click with your pointer on the first floor plan or level 1, and go to Duplicate View, Duplicate with Detailing. It creates a copy right here. So now let's click on that, right-click, and pick Rename. We're going to rename this view Color-Coded Plan, Color-Coded Floor Plan, and then that's our new one. So we're inside it. So now let's create a color-coded plan. All right, so in the properties palette over here on the right-hand side, we're going to go to color scheme, and then here click on none. When you do that, you'll have this edit color scheme dialog box. We're going to change the category to rooms at the top left, and then click right on name. So you'll see the different names. Now, in the previous run through of this video, I did change one of the colors. So if you wanted to change the colors for your different rooms, you could just click on it and change whatever color that you'd like for that color-coded plan. But I'll show you how to come back to this to change it as well. Let's go ahead and pick Apply. You can kind of see that, and pick OK. Okay, so now we need our legend here. We can go to Annotate, and in the Annotate tab, let's pick Color Fill Legend at the top left, right there. You'll see that you have your legend, and you can go ahead and click wherever you want to put it. If you want to change the colors, you can click on the room legend, and pick Edit Scheme up here in the middle, right there, and it'll bring you back to the dialog box where you can change the title of the room legend. Maybe you want to have it all upper caps, and you can start to explore, different colors if you'd like to change the color of your rooms. And once you do that, then you'll have the legend that kind of matches those colors. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. I'm just visually showing you your options. So that's one thing, to create a color-coded plan. Let's now take a look at how we can use visual graphics to change it just in this view, all of the walls to like a solid black. So type in VG, visual graphics right there, overrides, which is the same as if I went into properties and clicked on edit next to visual graphics there, but typing in VG gets us there. And now we want to scroll down to walls. So we're not turning the walls off, we're changing the graphics for this view. We'll go over to cut patterns and click right on this override button. So cut patterns, override. We're going to click on this icon with the 3 little dots and make that pattern the solid fill for the foreground and the background. Just be sure of it. Both of these are going to be here solid fill. And then pick OK, and you can apply it to take a look and pick OK. So what we have now is all of the walls have this override only in this view for making them a solid black pattern. And so this is an option for any view. If you wanted to do this in your, sometimes I'll do this for the building sections, especially if it's more design and less construction documents. And then the last thing for this view is to take a look at turning shadows on. So at the bottom left corner, the 4th icon over right there, you'll see shadows are off, and you can turn your shadows on. So we're going to take a look at way more things when we talk about shadows. We can we can change the angle and the location, all of that. But for now, we're turning them on and off. So that looks pretty good. I'd probably make the room legend all uppercase and change the colors, but that's your choice. Okay, so moving forward, we're going to create a camera view and start setting that up. We're going to go back to the first floor plan. So let's double click on the first floor plan. And in the first floor plan, we want to find a spot over here that is a good location for all of your graphics. So like I'm going to put the camera here and point it towards this corner where we can add lamps and lighting, kind of build out that view. So let's go to the View tab, and under 3D View here, under that house icon, we're going to click on Camera. And the camera goes to your pointer, so you can go ahead and click over here someplace for the camera location, and then pull your mouse towards the view that you'd like and click. So if you take a look, it's pretty basic right now. I just have some furniture in there and a window. And in fact, if you go down to the bottom left corner and change your visual graphic display here to realistic at the bottom left corner, you'll see that we are looking at the ceiling, the roof material right here. So the roof material is showing because we don't have a ceiling in here, but we'll put a ceiling in here. They've really given us a lot of choices here in this camera view for selecting things, because like you see now we can actually select the objects and use the arrow keys to move them around, although you are moving them around also in the plan, so you want to be careful of that. So the next thing I'd like to show you is adding decals, they're called. We're going to add a photo here, like a little painting or something, whatever you'd like to put on the wall. And this is how you can bring in images and maybe put an image on that TV family. There's an actual TV that you can bring in here, and maybe you want to put like the football game or something on that TV. So this is the next thing we're going to be taking a look at. So you're going to need to have a JPEG or a GIF file or a PNG, those type of graphic files. It can't be like a web file. So why don't you go ahead, go online, find something that you want to bring in here. So go to the website and type in whatever type of image that you'd like to bring in. Maybe I'm just randomly bringing in a forest image, but it could be, well, maybe beach. That's why I like the beach. We want to think about summer, but you can put whatever you'd like as far as a graphic. Maybe you want to put the lions or whatever graphics. But the important thing here is that when you click on whatever the graphic is that you're going to put, you can right click and pick Save Image As, and as long as it says JPEG right there, you're good. Or those image files like PNG, and I think I said that right earlier, not like a web-based one that they're blocking you from saving. So beach view, I'll call it, and then I'll put it under wherever you like to save your artwork, and then pick Save. And so now you have it, and we want to bring it here into Revit. Let's go to Insert, the Insert tab, and this is where we pick up decals. So we can put background photos, or we can bring photos right here in to put them on surfaces. So let's go to, we can't place it yet because we didn't bring it into the drawing. So we're going to go to insert decal, and then click on decal types. Under decal types, we don't have any loaded, so at the bottom left corner, we're going to click on this new decal icon right there. And, you can name it whatever name you'd like to give it, and then pick OK. Now we've given it a name. At the top right corner, we're going to click on this little icon with the 3 little dots right there where it says source. And this is where you go get that. That image. Double click on it, and there it is. Let's go ahead and pick OK. Okay, so now that we have that decal, we can go back up to decal and under insert there and pick place decal. Place decal. The thing I don't like about working in this camera view is you can't really see it until you actually click. On the wall sections, or building sections, you can see it, see the image of it. So if I click right there somewhere and I give it a minute, it's going to place the image. There it is. It's going to place it on that surface. And now use your escape key to get, out of placing the decal, unless you want to put another one. And then go ahead and click right on it so that you can use these little, grips to make it bigger. We are going to put a ceiling in here, so I'll just make it about like that because the ceiling will go right above it. So you go ahead and design whatever you'd like to put, your image, whatever the image is in there. I think this would be a good time for us to go ahead and put a ceiling in here so that we can kind of build this camera view. You can see that we're looking at the roof, at the shingles on the other side of it, underside of it. So let's go over to the ceilings. Guys, this is where we were careful, right? There are floor plans and there are ceiling plans. So double click on the first floor plan under ceiling plan. So you're not in the first floor plan under floor plans, but ceiling, and they should change that. But you have to kind of be aware that you have floor plans, you have ceiling plans. So now I'm on the first floor plan of the ceiling. And so what you're doing is you're looking up. So you're looking at the roof. We don't need the roof, right? So let's click on the roof and then right click and go to hide and view and categories. So we can just turn off the whole category of roof right there. So we're looking up, and that's why we're not seeing any of the doors, although this window is really long, so it's like within the cut plane of what we see. So with the ceilings, we can go back to architecture and click on the ceiling icon right there. We have 2 different types of ceilings that we can, there are different ways of placing ceilings. We can use automatic ceiling, or we can sketch our own. So with automatic, if you come over to properties, you can see that there are all these different types of ceilings that are loaded, but there are way more. But these are like the common ones. We've got the acoustical ceiling tiles, the 2x2s, the 2x4s, and we have the gypsum wall board on the metal stud, so the gyp board ceiling. So let's use 2x2. 2x2 acoustical ceiling tile, ACT. Just for this room, you go inside the room, it automatically reads the boundary of the room, and then you click, and there it is. That's your ceiling. Pretty cool, right? So let's just get a little bit more creative and sketch a ceiling in the other room here. So click on Sketch Ceiling, and you see how it puts you into that sketch mode? So you can sketch whatever you'd like as long as it's a closed shape. So for one of these other rooms here, maybe I'll come back up here under the Draw panel, and I'll click on this little rectangle icon so that I can draw a rectangle that goes around the outside edge of this room. And then whatever shape you want to put in here, a circle, another rectangle, an ellipse, as long as it's a closed shape. I'm just going to go ahead and draw another rectangle right here. And so now I've just created this boundary that goes around here to create kind of an opening here to look up inside. I'm going to go ahead and And just one more thing, I want to show you that the ceiling height right here is 8 feet. So look over in the properties, and if you want to change that, you can. But right now, we don't have really tall walls, so we'll keep it at 8 feet. Let's go ahead and pick the green check mark, and there's our custom here ceiling. Awesome. So now that we have the ceiling in place, and we are going to put lights in there a little bit later on, we can go back to that 3D view called 3D View 1 right there. And now we have a ceiling. We have a ceiling. We are starting to form this, camera view and pick up a few more options. So next, in the next assignment, we'll really concentrate on the rendering part of it. This assignment is going to be the list of all of those smaller things for us to build on. So we looked at color-coded plans, visual graphics to make the solid wall. We looked at turning your shadows on and creating a camera view, adding decals, and adding a ceiling. I do want to point something out to you. Let's go over to first floor plan. So double click on the first floor plan, and then just click once. So you're in the first floor plan. Let's click once on this 3D view one, and then right click and pick show camera. This is, one way of showing the camera and where you have them in the plan. So that is the camera. In case you have like 10 cameras, you want to see where they're at. You can go to the first floor plan, highlight that view, right click, pick show camera, and there's your camera. So you do have, that option of moving the camera around if you'd like. I just wanted to, point that out to you. But when you click in space, right here, it kind of goes away. All right. And then another thing I'd like to, smaller thing, a lot of little things in this video is let's go to the 3D view. In the 3D, the actual 3D view right here, that's in the main one, we typically want to keep this one as kind of a working model. So we're going to duplicate the 3D view so that we can create this kind of exploded view. It's called displaced elements, right? So highlight 3D view, 3D, like this one, the main one, not the camera view. Right click and pick duplicate view, and then just duplicate because we don't have any text or anything in here, and we're looking at the model. So now we have a copy of it right here. We can rename it. Let's right click and rename this copy of it to, I guess we'll call it exploded view. Exploded view. Although we're using the command called displace elements, let's call it the exploded view. And we're inside the exploded view right here. All right. So if we go to the Modify tab, you'll see under View, it's grayed out because we haven't selected anything to displace. So let's select one of your walls right here. Just select one of your walls and then come up to this panel that's View. You see how you have everything now that's accessible. And you'll see this icon called Displace Elements. You can, if you just rest your pointer, you'll see a little video that's showing you that you can displace all of the different elements. It looks like a little explode icon, doesn't it? Let's go ahead and click on this Displace Elements. And then you have all these little arrows that help you to drag it to wherever you need it. So I'm clicking and holding my left mouse button down on the red arrow, and then I'm going to pull it out here someplace. It does not affect the model itself, and that's why we duplicated the 3D view. If we want to show the path, which we should, is kind of a graphics, we're going to come up here and pick the icon called Path right there. And now, if you get close to one of these corners, you'll see these little hidden lines that kind of establish for you and click the different lines that show the path, where it's going, where it's coming from. This is the path of the displaced elements right there. That's kind of cool, right? So let's go ahead and escape out of that and let's displace the roof. Now I have two separate roofs, so maybe that'll be okay, I think. Let's go ahead and click on displace elements, this little explode icon. Use the blue arrow to kind of bring that up here, kind of like taking the roof off in a way. And then click on path, so that you can kind of go to these little corners and get the path of it. Kind of a cool graphic, I think. We can even maybe click on the ceiling and see what happens when we like pull the ceiling up. We're kind of like giving it layers. And do I want to create a path for that? Sure, why not? At least there. So now you're starting to displace elements and create kind of this exploded view. You can even take one of these walls from the back and pull it a little bit further out so that you have kind of this opening. But you see what happened? So the fascia board didn't go with it. I'm going to go ahead and get the path over here too. So I just went back to click on it and pick up the path. I need to add the fascia board to the roof. And this is where if you displace an element and you want to be able to, edit that displacement and add more things to it, you can click on the roof and then click edit right there. And it gives you this little dialog box here to add something to it. So I need to add this fascia board. You see how it kind of like when I clicked on the fascia board, it came back up into, and it's added to the displaced elements for that roof. And then I'll go ahead and pick finish, the green check mark, and I'll click in space. So what is this part? Oh, this is the fascia of this other roof. So, hey, maybe I want to add this other roof. So I'm going to click on the main roof, click on edit, click on add, which is the default, click this, maybe, yeah, and I already brought the fascia board up, so it takes up that whole roof. Pick the green check mark, and that should bring it right up into this kind of like open displaced view. All right, so just wanted to show you that if you have several floors or if you want to take it in different directions in order to, see more of your objects, you can use that as well. Okay, so we did cover a lot of the things that I want to, cover here. There are other things on my list. Here's kind of a list of things. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you as soon as I can get it to get over there. Here it is right there. These are some of the things that I was thinking of us working with. We did a color-coded plan. We went and talked about the visual graphics to change the solid walls we changed the solid walls in the color-coded plan. And then we turned on and off the shadows. We created a camera view. We added decals. We added the ceiling. We looked at displaced elements, which are like exploded views. And then next week, we're going to continue with rendering, walkthroughs, adding lights, and also adding lights to the ceiling, right? And then we're going to render with the background and take a look at solar sun studies, and eventually we're going to get to here adding topography as we move forward. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this week. These are the list of things that kind of add to our graphics. Make sure that you let me know if you have any questions or you need help with any of this. Thanks.